Record, and I'm going to say welcome to Team Force's first March. Oh my gosh, guys, it's March. Maybe not for you, but for me, time is like flying by super fast. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Last week we talked on the call about setting some goals for your week. I really highly encourage you to continue to set the goals weekly, because we can talk about dreams and visions and buying houses and paying off debt and doing all sorts of different things, but it's the weekly goals that really make a difference. So I want to jump right into this call because Cecilia and I went to Dane Johnson conference this past weekend. It was called First Steps to Success, and it's amazing. Like you cannot succeed if you don't get there, because I can teach you how to be a good beach bike coach, but it's not going to make a difference if you're struggling in your life. And this she has different conferences, and hey Deej, and it makes a huge difference. Yes, Deej.
I need to say bye to you.
Okay.
We're gonna get a drink of water.
But she's a multimillionaire. She's a billionaire in network marketing as well as other businesses. And she really talks. You go there and you get a lot of information, and you're able to download it into your thought process and decide which. Let me plug this in. Here we go. You get to kind of decide what applies to your life and what doesn't. And it's really interesting because same message and totally different, same thing that she says, but you get a totally different message depending on where you are. So I've been 6 times, and it's been a completely different message each time. I'm still trying to process the messages that hit me because I wasn't prepared for what I really got. What I do want to share, though, is this one thing was about business. Everything else, like hours upon hours upon hours, really was about family for me. And so she talked about how she was failing, and her story is interesting, where she was being abused, sexually abused, living with 2 drug addicts growing up. Found herself in network marketing and failing miserably. And she met this guy who was making $15,000 a month more than her, which meant he was making $15,000 a month. And so she said, "Can you teach me? Will you teach me what you do? I want to learn what it is you do." And he gave her 4 guidelines. And she said, "I do use these 4 guidelines now in life." And she related it to cheesecake, which was right up my alley. So the first one, first guideline for success is to, he said, if you give me an excuse, we're done. One excuse, we're done. I am making $15,000. I am very successful, and my life is amazing. You want to learn from me, then you will do what I say to do. You give me one excuse as to why you can't do that, and we're done. And she said that an excuse is a well-planned lie. Think about all the things that people are telling you when you're talking about your challenge groups, when you're talking about psychology, when you're talking about coaching. And it's I don't have time. I have tried it before in the past. I have too many kids, all one of them. I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I haven't made enough yet. I just all these different things, they're well-planned lies, because in any situation that you're in, if somebody else has succeeded and gone over that reason, then it's an excuse. I don't have time. I know many people who have been working, who work multiple jobs and have 8 kids, and they're still finding time to work out. I don't have the money. We have several people that who have sold furniture in order to be able to afford challenge packs, in order to be able to go to Dane Johnson. Selling couches. You don't need a couch anyway. You're not going to be sitting on your butt watching TV anymore anyway after you go to one of her conferences. So sell the couch. It's not needed. You're going to be standing and working out. You're not going to be watching TV anymore because that's a complete waste of time to watch TV. So, I don't have a success story yet. You know what? You don't have to reach your goals. There are people who still have 100 pounds to lose who are successful at coaching. And so think about the things that people are saying back to you, the excuses that you see, and ask yourself if you're using the same ones. Have you reached your physical transformation? If not, are you giving 100% into your workouts? Are you giving 100% into your meal plan? You can't expect your challengers to do the same thing if you're not doing it. If your challengers did exactly what you did today, would they be successful? Would they reach their goals? If you want to grow a team of coaches who are paying off debt, who are, paying for education for their kids, who are going on vacations, if you want to reach financial success, if you want to reach emotional, social, relationship success, then your team of coaches, if you had 100 coaches right now and they did what you did yesterday, would they be reaching their goals? Because I promise you that if you say no, that's why you either don't have a team because you're not doing what you need to do to get a team, or you have a team and if they're not doing what they need to do, it's because you're not doing it. And it's the law of, the parable of the talents. Scooter and I talked about that yesterday, the law of stewardship. Matthew 25 talks about how you are a good steward of the little things, you will be given much more. If you want to be an awesome rock and beach body coach, financially successful, if you aren't able to manage your finances well right now, then who's gonna say that you're gonna make $1 million and keep it? If you want to be able to have, a huge challenge group, and yet you aren't able to communicate well with your children, maybe those same communication problems are occurring when you're talking to potential challengers. So law of stewardship, and to not give any excuses, because the excuses you're getting, I don't have time, I don't have the money, I don't think this is for me. Those are actually the same excuses that you have in your head, that you have in your mind. Shakeology is expensive. Well, then you're not going to be able to talk to anybody else about how awesome it is and how insanely affordable it is to get an amazing amount of nutrition for $4. If you think Shakeology is expensive, so is the person who you're talking to. If you think coaching is hard, if you think hitting Success Club is hard, if you think finding 3 people is hard, then so will your coaches. So whatever excuses, thank you. Okay.
Love you.
Love you, love you. Yes, Gigi's always tired at this time. So no excuses, and find out what those excuses are and work on them. There's no excuse that you can't get over. Number 2, she says, is do not give me any opinions and suggestions. She got to sit in a meeting, and there was a guy who was making $20,000 a week in this company that she was a part of. And so he was doing this special luncheon for some of the top people. And she actually was invited, and she said, I don't know, like, think about being in a room with like the most successful people, and how you feel like you don't belong, how you feel like you aren't, like, you feel like you need to prove something, you need to prove why you're there. And so this guy was talking, and everybody was talking about different ideas and thoughts and processes and things like that. And she was like, well, I'm gonna give an idea. I got good ideas. So she gave an idea, and he looked at her and he slammed his hand on the table and he said, how tall is your stack of Benjamins compared to mine? Don't be stupid. Sit down, shut up, because if I followed your opinions, I'd be broke just like you. And she said, imagine yourself, like, how many of you guys would just like immediately start crying? Like, just, and then she said, and how many of you guys would sit back and go, his nose is big. How dare he talk to me like that? he's not even pretty, you know. And so she went on and she said, how many of you would cock an ego? And she said that the truth is that she was sitting in a room with people who are making millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, and she was not. And so she felt like she needed to give her opinion in order to feel like she was accepted, feel like she was a part, like supposed to be there. But instead, what she needed to do, she realized, was sit and listen to what they had to say and not just give her opinion. And then she went on to talk about how people who are insecure are always telling others what to do. They are never listening. They're hiding behind their knowledge. They're always talking about all these facts, all these things that they know. Everything's coming out of their mouth. But she said that by the fruits of their labors, you shall know them. Not by their words, but by the fruits of their labors, you shall know them. And so success leaves clues. You want to be successful. You find the people who are successful, and you're not going to tell them what to do. You're not going to tell somebody who, like Brigitte, who is a millionaire in Beachbody, hey, Brigitte, this is what I think you should do for your challenge groups because this is what I'm doing. So you find what others are doing, and you listen to them, and you watch what they're doing, and you don't tell them what you think they should do. You don't give your opinion. You take that opportunity to sit back and learn. And I loved how she talked about a lot of people have knowledge. A lot of people say, oh, I know. Well, she said, true knowledge isn't what you know, the facts in your head. It's what you live. That's what true knowledge is. And so knowing isn't what you can regurgitate out of your mouth. Knowing is what you're living. If you're living something, you know it. If you're just talking about it, it's just a fact in your head. Knowledge comes from experience. So she said, so number one, give me an excuse. I'm done working with you. Number two, don't give me any opinions or suggestions. You find the top people who have successful marriage, and it works in successful marriages. People have successful marriages. If you want a great relationship with your spouse, go find somebody who has a great relationship with their spouse, a great marriage, married for 50 years, and talk to them and ask them what they're doing. And you're not going to give them opinions or suggestions on how to have a great marriage. And so don't give opinions and suggestions to people who are having the success that you want. You take the opportunity to sit down and listen to what they have to say. The number three, she brought up cheesecake. And this is when she took her belt out and whipped me. I was sitting there and my heart dropped. Because Beachbody is simple. Beachbody coaching is simple. It is not complicated. It is not hard. It is simple. And so this is the way she brought about it. She said, follow directions or I will not work with you. Follow directions or I will not work with you is the third guideline that this guy gave her. And she said, here's the deal. She said, this is where the cheesecake, she said, how many of you guys have made recipes and you follow the recipe? She said, how many of you guys have looked at a picture and gone, that looks good, and then you just kind of make up ingredients as you go? And she said she made a cheesecake, and this is a true story. It happened at one of her big conferences. She makes amazing cheesecake, like it's been passed down through the ages. And she made this cheesecake, and she auctioned off pieces of it at one of her last events to help raise money for an orphanage. And they raised $114,000 for pieces of her cheesecake, a total of $114,000 for a piece of her cheesecake. So her cheesecake is a $114,000 recipe. And she said, so here's the deal. The quickest way to success is to follow directions. Don't tweak it. Don't modify it. Don't say, well, oh, I want to make cheesecake, but I don't want to get fat. So I'm going to use, can I use the low fat cream cheese? She's like, no, you fool. It's not going to be a $114,000 cheesecake. She said, first of all, if you're trying to lose weight, you shouldn't be eating cheesecake anyway. If you want a $114,000 cheesecake, you follow the recipe. You follow the directions. You don't tweak it. You don't change it. You don't modify it. And that's where it hit me. It hit me. You have the basic ingredients, the 3 vital behaviors. That is the recipe for success in Beachbody. You don't tweak, you don't modify, you don't leave out any of the behaviors. You have a list of people and you send out reach outs. I got tired of sending out reach outs. I got tired of talking to people. I got tired of hearing people's excuses. And I said, there must be a different way. There must be a different way. And so I started traveling into the YouTube direction. And I tried to do this and I tried to do that. I have a list of freaking 2,000 people that the Lord has sent to me. And I need to reach out to every single one of them. Because by gosh darn it, would you believe that yesterday a girl joined as a coach and posted on her profile page and tagged me in it. And she's not on our team. I went and got, who is this girl? I don't know who this girl even is. I don't remember who she is. We don't have any friends in common. I looked at the messages that we've sent back and forth. She was a girl who liked my Facebook page. I sent her a message. She wrote back and said, yeah, I'm trying to figure out nutrition. I love exercise. I love P90X. I love insanity. I'm trying to figure out nutrition. And I didn't write her back. And she's now a coach on somebody else's team. But she tagged me in it and said, I'm so inspirational. I'm part of the reason why she joined as coach, but I am not her coach. What do successful coaches do? It's not hard. They run a free group. How you run that free group? You have them sign up for a free membership or a club membership through Beachbody. You can decide what you want to do as far as, and I think that's kind of like adding blueberries or strawberries to on top of your cheesecake, where, you can do a water challenge. You can do a walking challenge. You can do a clean eating challenge. What kind of a free group you do is up to you. The successful top coaches, they run a free group every single month. They run a challenge group every single month. And they run some sort of a coach sneak peek, either a group or they do a webinar every single month. Every single month. And they send out reach outs, 20 to 30 if you want to accelerate and shoot out of the gate, 20 to 30 reach outs every single day. 10 if you kind of want to, build this business as you can. You send out reach outs, and then you send out invites. You send out invites to do our free group. And then you send out, then you message them and find out if they want to do the challenge group. And then you send out a message and invite them to be a coach. And then you just teach them that recipe. You teach them personal development. If you aren't doing personal development, if you don't have a book or an audio that you have listened to or are going to listen to or read today, that is number one top priority. Number one top priority is personal development. The number two, if you haven't gotten your workout in, get it in. Get it done. If you have, you better have taken a picture and posted it on your profile to let people know that you did a workout. Follow directions. Top coaches. Personal development, they teach personal development. They either do a YouTube video or they post something on their Facebook profile. You don't know what to post on your profile or social media? Here it is. Personal development. What did you get in your aha moment? You do your workout. You post a picture. You did your workout. And then you post something about Beachbody, an invitation to learn more, to be more, to have better relationships. Those are 3 posts. 3 to 5 posts. Those are your 3 posts for the day. And then you can add 1 or 2 in there. I always added 1 or 2 about Scout or how the family's doing. But then she said, here's the deal. She says, on the recipe, it says to get eggs. And you go, crap, eggs. What kind of eggs? Large eggs, small eggs, brown eggs, organic eggs? Are they in a carton? Where are they on the top shelf, bottom shelf? I don't know. Eggs. I'm scared. I don't want to pick the wrong eggs. She's like, they're freaking eggs. How do you see get eggs on a recipe and you just go to your refrigerator and get eggs? You just get the eggs and you do it. And she said, that is like looking at a phone. You talk to people every day on your phone. You text them. You talk to people on Facebook every day. You message them. You talk to people. So when it comes to sending out an invite, why do you get scared? She said, I have people who are like, I have a hard time. You mean I have to call somebody on the phone? She's like, it's a phone. You talk to people on the phone all the time. Don't get scared of the eggs. It's a recipe, and it is part of the recipe, and it is an ingredient to talk to people, to send out messages, to send out reach outs. Don't tweak, don't modify. Follow directions. And that hit me. That hit me. She said, success is not hard. It's just about grabbing the right recipe and following it. And we have the right recipe. We have the right recipe. We have the personal development, we have the workouts, and then we have inviting, we have reaching out, inviting, and following up. That's the recipe. All these top coaches, that's what they've done. That's what they've done. We don't have to make it complicated. We don't have to make it, and we talk about, okay, well, where am I going to find people, and how do I do this? How do I do that? Here's the deal. To add people to your contact list. If you're on Facebook, you create a Facebook like page. How do you create a like page? Google it. Go to YouTube. How to create a like page. Like page Beachbody coaches. There is numerous training on it. And then you promote it. How do I promote a like page? Google that. There is tons of videos. That's how I have learned. I have said, how do I do this? I Google it. And I followed a coach's directions. You go to Instagram. Is it really as easy as just looking up hashtags like Fabletics or newborn baby and then just like sending people like commenting on their photos and liking their photos and then sending them a direct message? There's gotta be something else to it. There's not. That's it. That's how you use Instagram to add people to your contact list. Don't make it complicated. It's not hard. There are several Beachbody Instagram training. YouTube that. It's there. How do I use Pinterest? How do I use YouTube? There are directions. There is a recipe with directions on how to do everything you need to. Find the recipe, find the directions, and then don't modify it. Don't tweak it. Just do it. It's kind of like driving a car. When you first got in, you were like, checking the mirror, seatbelt, yep, seatbelt's on. Oh my gosh, did I like seatbelt into the wrong thing? And then it's like, how many, like, if you guys drove a clutch, it's like clutch, brake, gas, this, am I in drive? I'm in reverse, and it's just like, oh my gosh, and all these things are just, and you're just like freaking out, like you swear you're gonna kill somebody. Driving a car. And how many of you were like, did this number? I learned on an automatic and then I learned on a stick. But even still, it was like, you get up to the stoplight and you want to make sure that you stop in time. And it's like, you're supposed to stop like 500 yards before, start slowing down. And so you're like doing this number at the stoplight. Now, how many of you guys drive to the store and you don't even remember how you got there? You're like, you don't even remember if you stopped at the stoplight. It's just automatic. You get in, buckle, car on, drive, go. The recipe isn't hard, and I'll even equate it to me with making chocolate chip cookies. I am an amazing chocolate chip cookie maker. I am. I will say that with pride. My dad was the cookie monster, and he made chocolate chip cookies, and he did a little silly ceremony. He was like, I now pronounce you as the cookie monster maker. I was little. It was like, hey, and I make amazing chocolate chip cookies. And I would pull out that recipe and I'd have to go one by one to follow the directions to make the most amazing cookies. And if I didn't have the recipe, I would like not remember, or, you know, I even have made it so I know I only use one bowl. You don't have to use 2 bowls, you know, and I add a little extra vanilla here and there, and it's just amazing. It's awesome. It's wonderful. I don't even pull the recipe out anymore because I know exactly what to do. I know exactly how to do it. I know exactly how much vanilla to brown sugar. You put a little bit more brown sugar in than the recipe calls for. Gives it like a caramel flavoring. Yeah, and so I have amazing recipe, and I follow it, and I don't even need to pull the directions out. I don't even need to pull the instructions out anymore because I just know how to make it. But I'm going to tell you how to make my most amazing chocolate chip cookies, and you're going to have to write the directions down, and you're going to have to follow those instructions for a while because they're not like what's on the back of the package. So you're going to have to follow those directions. You have to have that card in front of you, and you're going to have to do that. You have to pull that card out every single time you want to make chocolate chip cookies. I love how it's a Beachbody call right now. We're talking about cheesecake and cookies. But you know what? After a while, you're going to be able to put that card away and just do it naturally as well. And so don't get frustrated as you're learning and you're growing, and you're constantly learning and growing. New seasons of life. You know, you have a new coach. Oh my gosh, you don't want to mess up. You're going to mess up. Things are going to happen. Mistakes are going to happen. You know, you're going to want to send out an invite, and you're going to be like, I totally like screwed that over. I promise you I have too. And it's okay. You're coming from a heart, true, and intent of serving. You can't make a mess big enough that you can't clean up. You know, don't cry over spilt milk. Well, you know, things can be fixed. Things can be cleaned up, as long as you're authentic and honest in all your dealings with the people you're talking to. The fourth thing is you need to invest. And she said there's one thing that you can invest in, one thing you can put money into, and it will come back exponentially. The one thing that you can invest in, and it will continue to give you back an amazing amount of wealth. And that's yourself. Invest in yourself. Continue to learn. Continue to grow. When you think about it, you went to school for how many years? You own a new business. And now you got to learn how to juggle your time with your family. You got to learn how to communicate with people. You have to learn how to juggle your money. You have to learn how the Beachbody process. You have to learn the recipe and all the ingredients. You have to learn these things. Invest in yourself. If you're posting on social media, you're saying people aren't responding, it's just not working, invest in yourself and learn. It's been awesome. It's been amazing to see Cecilia. She went to First Steps to Success, and all of a sudden I have noticed a change in her posts. Her posts are more powerful. They're filled with way more emotion, way more feeling, and way more drive. Invest in yourself, because that is the thing that is going to continue to pay you back. Which said, spend money to learn from success, find successful people and learn from them. And so whatever it is that you're struggling with, find somebody who has struggled and overcome, and invest in that. That is not an expense. I do not view going to my conferences as an expense. I don't view any of the books I buy as an expense. It's an investment, as long as I do something with it. So there you go. That was Saturday morning. That was only like 45 minutes worth of this 2-day conference that we went to. And I can tell you that Cecilia and I were already there crying. Because it hit me. It hit me. Follow directions. Follow directions. Find what successful people are doing and follow directions. Top successful coaches, they're putting the calendar that I put, and I didn't put a visual calendar. I'm going to put that on as a calendar, but the dates I put into the Team Force locker room as to what's happening, you know, when we're running a free group, when we're running challenge group, like Jillian Beland's 5-star diamond coach, put that put that together and shared it on YouTube. Like coaches, top coaches are freely sharing what they're doing, what they're posting, what their calendars look like, when they're going to post about what, how to use Instagram, how to use YouTube, how to use Facebook, how to organize, how to use Asana as a way to organize the people you're talking to. Like, there is nothing that if you don't know what to do, that you can't learn how to do it. So invest in yourself. Follow their directions. You listen to something and go, well, I don't think that they should be doing that. Well, look at their stack of Benjamins to yours. What they're doing is working, so I would probably give that a go. And that's why I'm stepping aside and I'm saying, look, DaniJohnson.com. Go there. Learn from her. Billion-dollar network marketing genius who didn't work to the bone to get there. That is what I'm going to change. I said before that I'm going to make some radical changes in my business. I am working too much, and that's why I'm not succeeding. I'm working too much and I'm not succeeding because that is not duplicatable. So I said I'm going to cut back, and I'm not going to do more than 10 hours a week. 2 hours, 5 days. If I get some time on Saturday, if stars align, then I might do some things on Saturday, and I might I'll probably, Sunday night is kind of what Cam and I do as our planning time anyway, but 5 days a week, 2 hours. And I'm going to hit some really major goals this year doing that. Because I want to show you guys that you don't have to work 40 hours to be making the $4,000 a month. I'm going to cut back my hours, and I'm going to start making more because I'm going to become more laser focused with my time. More intent with my time. And so what my activity tracker is going to now have is it's not going to have the amount of reach outs, invites, and follow-ups, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to show you, because time is worth money. My time is super valuable. So I'm going to show you where I'm spending my time. It's going to say 45 minutes talking to people every single day. It's going to say 30 minutes in personal development. So I'm going to show you where I'm spending my time. I'm not just going to be doing 10 reach outs, 20 reach outs, and this is many invites, because I'm going to show you how you can work 10 hours a week and still make amazing strides in this business, because that is duplicatable. That's going to work better for me and my family. It's going to work better for this little one that you've heard this whole entire time, because she has an opinion about how much time mom spends with her. So what that means, though, is that I'm going to be spending 80% of my time in recruiting, in building my business. So 8 hours of the week will be spent talking to other people. 1 hour, 10% will be spent in challenger groups talking to my current challengers. And then 1 hour, 10% will be spent managing and helping the team. So that's why I'm stepping kind of back. You guys will still ask in the team page. I'll be in there. I will do this call. I see this as an extra bonus sort of deal. I can do this call. But it's time for you guys to step up and go, okay, what do I need to learn? Where do I need to go to learn it? And then if you have questions, go to the fact page. Go to, Google it. Google and YouTube. I don't have anybody to ask questions and get answers. I learned everything I have learned through Google and YouTube, so I know you guys can too. That's how I know. When you guys ask me a question, I find myself on Google, and I'm like, wait, you guys can do that. So I'm going to spend 1 hour a week helping to manage the team and helping to make sure you guys are able to get to where you want to go. I'm going to point you to the sources for places to find answers. So that way then I can also focus on building my team, because I'm going to become laser focused 10 hours a week. And I'm super excited about the goals I'm going to hit doing it. And it's going to be a lot more fun. It's going to be a lot less stress. And I want you guys to do this with me. So, all right, go grab those kiddos. And I'm going to wrap up anyway. So I love you guys. That's the thing, the 4 guidelines. Follow the directions. The recipe isn't hard. They're there. and to manage the small things, the important things, and you'll be blessed with much more. So, all right, I'm going to hop off because it is time for me to change this one's diaper, go see what Gigi's up to. She had some learning time, and then it's time to get on with my day. So love you guys, and I'll see you in the team page.